how's everybody doing today? Got a big show going on for you today. Over here, big week of action this week. Clean my glasses real quickly so I can see this glare off my computer. We have a massive week of games this week, and then obviously next week. We have the Europa League final on Wednesday. Going to be a really good game. We got Eintracht Frankfurt and Rangers in that game. And I got the Europa Conference League final next Wednesday. And that's going to be Roma and Feyenoord. And then obviously the Champions League final next Saturday. Memorial Day weekend. I can't even believe it's Memorial Day weekend already in like not even 2 weeks. It's so crazy. 2 weeks from today, I guess. It's so crazy. Time is flying, but that's what time does, right? All right, so I got a little Caesar Sportsbook promotion, $1,100 first bet insurance. Post a first-time wager up to $1,100. Get it back in the form of a free bet. If you lose, you must use our promo code ATSWINSCZR. Link in the show box below. 6 hours. I know a lot of you have been already watching here. The network has started. Be sure to follow all the Max Wagers Network all day. Midday Money with Sean Higgs at noon. Morning Wood with Ali Burns 1 to 2. I hope you caught the show and the Total Chaos on Friday night. Just Parlays with Chris King. Back to the window with Scott and Scott at 3 to 4. Me, and then 5 to 6. Game Time Decisions with Nick, Tim, and Lenny. And remember, you can listen to me on Friday nights and Saturday mornings in New York and multiple other places. You don't really need to be there, though. You can do the TuneIn Radio app if you want. So I'm in the process of moving still. So I'm not even going to show you this place. Everything was in the basement, and then now everything is over there from the basement except for like the TVs. I still got the TV set up here so we can watch this game. Our show started basically as the second half started here. Somebody's down and they're attending to him. See what happened here. Doesn't look great. See if somebody didn't see the play. Maybe he got elbowed. Yeah. Bruno Guimaraes is saying it was an elbow. So could be interesting here. I might be jumping on this live play if it's a red card. I was going to tell you to probably jump on it anyway. Right now, live. Let's see what we can get these odds here. Live play. You got Newcastle. They gave him a yellow card, Eddie Nketiah. So I'm going to look at that on VAR, though, I believe. Newcastle right now is plus 250. The draw is plus 165, and Arsenal is plus 150. Arsenal has to win this game. Remember, they have to win this game. Remember, I told you during the weekend, Newcastle would get a result here. I thought Newcastle was going to get a result. They've been playing really well. It's been pretty even game. Newcastle's had some pretty good chances here. You know, if anybody's here and wants to know anything about these live betting, I could answer the questions here. See, he's still down. So I'm gonna have a lot of injury time here added on, but I do like Newcastle in this game. So today we're going to talk about some of the games coming up. They're going to show a replay here. Oh, man, that was bad. That was an elbow. Surprised they're not going to VAR here. Could be interesting. If they do go to VAR here, that could be very interesting. They're talking a little bit. They are talking. Of course, we'll talk about the game tomorrow. Give you a little preview of the game Wednesday. I'll talk more about that tomorrow, the Europa League final. And, of course, there's a bunch of Premier League matches on Wednesday as well. I believe there are 4 matches on Wednesday. Oh, sorry, 4 matches on Thursday for the Premier League. 3 matches. So mostly Wednesday. Tomorrow's show will be talking a lot about Eintracht Frankfurt and Rangers, of course. So Fabian Schär goes off. Jamar Lascelles comes on. Could be interesting. So we'll talk a little bit about that. For today's show, have the Southampton and Liverpool. Try to blow that up. Nottingham Forest and Sheffield United in the championship playoff semifinal second leg. It was 2-1 last week to Nottingham Forest at Sheffield United. So that will turn to Nottingham Forest. I believe the other game is 0-0 right now. It's 1-1 on aggregate, so not much going on in that game. And I wanted to talk a little bit about the Eredivisie promotion playoff first leg, ADO Den Haag and FC Eindhoven. I think that's an interesting game. And then I'm going to go over the rugby like we usually do at the beginning of the week. Try to give you some of those early plays and early looks there. I haven't even seen the rugby scores for the weekend, to be honest. I have to check my account to see how I did. Cowboys won, Sydney won, Panthers won easily, South Sydney won easily. No, South Sydney did not win easily. They won by 2 points. So I think those money line plays did well, but we'll get to those. All right, so we're back in action here. First game. Southampton plus 650. Liverpool minus 265, draw plus 420, 245 Eastern time. I'm going to give you some of the other kind of lines for the game. Over 3.5 is plus 110. Under 3.5 is minus 136. Over 3.25 on the Asian handicap is minus 113. So that's about where they think the line is going to be there. Under minus 107. Southampton double chance plus 205. Liverpool over 2.5 goals plus 112. Liverpool minus 1.25. Asian handicap minus 120. I don't know if any of you watched that FA Cup game. It was atrocious again. Chelsea, Christian Pulisic should have had 5 goals. If they play Havertz or somebody else in his spot, it's probably Chelsea wins the game. But it was the same as the Carabao Cup. Liverpool has 2 trophies right now and they haven't scored a goal, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think Liverpool is running out of gas. I think some of this stuff is I think they've played a lot of games. I think they're gassed. The game at the weekend will give them a little boost, I believe. But City did come back and tie it. So, and really, missed the penalty there. So, City, the draw was big for City there. If you bet on City there in the second half to score a couple goals, I think you would have been in good shape. It changes the way this, obviously Liverpool has to win their 2 games no matter what, but, City just has to beat Aston Villa and they're the champions. So it doesn't really matter what Liverpool does if City wins their game. Excuse me. So it doesn't really matter. It's tough here. Liverpool minus 265. I mean, they've been struggling of late. 1-0 against Newcastle. That game of the weekend, they're just doing enough. I mean, look, they have 2 trophies, so what can you say? But Van Dijk went off injured. Salah went off injured. They say they'll be back for the Champions League final next Saturday. Sorry. Whether or not they're 100%, probably not. I'm real reticent trying to Newcastle double chance right now. Yeah, what are those odds? They just locked them. I'll get you those odds as soon as they unlock them here. Christian, do I like Newcastle double chance here? Yeah, I think so. I don't know what that. I'm trying to. They lock the odds right now. I just think they're playing better right now. Arsenal. Look, I mean, they're showing. If you're watching the game, Arsenal can guarantee a top 4 finish with win today at Newcastle and Sunday against Everton. Everton might need that game. I think Newcastle's a better team in this game right now, and they're playing better. I mean, they got some. St. Maximin here is tearing them up down the left wing. Oh, there's a goal! Newcastle goal! Newcastle goal! Man, I'm telling you what, this Newcastle team is going to be dangerous next year when they spend about $300 million this summer. Man, Bill, I hope you got that in. Let's see what the odds are. Newcastle now is minus 195. That is amazing. That's why they locked it up. I'm on I have Fubo TV. Oh, it's an own goal. I think it's an own goal. Somebody was just asking me. It is an own goal. How about that? Someone was just asking me. He's like, man, should I bet own goal in a game? And I'm like, man, you can't bet. No, there's never any own goals. Own goal, first score. I mean, look, man, it happens. It happens. But, you can't bet own goal. I mean, you can, but, it's just like better off playing the Powerball. You probably get better odds. Chris Campen, let's go. They're playing well. Yeah. I think Arsenal, hopefully in the Europa League. That's right. I'm going to knock these fans down a peg. I think it's amazing. Newcastle, I think if you give it 2 years, Newcastle will be a bigger team than Arsenal. 100%. That's just my feeling. Arsenal owners are more worried about other stuff, man. They're more worried about the new stadium that the Rams built and stuff. Arsenal Europa League, yeah. Speaking of Europa League, see those odds very quickly. Eintracht Frankfurt plus 128, New Rangers plus 210, draw plus 245. Man, I tell you what. Rangers also have a cup final on Saturday as well against Hearts. We'll talk about that. I think I'll probably talk about that. Yeah, Bill, maybe. I think it is, or maybe next goal. You could always bet Arsenal next goal. That's probably pretty low odds right now, though. Next goal, Arsenal. Next goal, Arsenal is plus 112. Next goal, Newcastle is plus 188. The game's going to open up now. I'll tell you what, Arsenal has to attack. So you're going to get decent value at either one of those plays. The total goals. You know what sometimes is interesting to me here? Like right now, like total goals from the 60th to the 59, basically 60th to the 70th minute are, over a half a goal at plus 195. So if you think there's going to be another goal scored here somewhere, it might be worth it to put $10 down or something like that. I mean, you're not going to win a lot. Who's going to win the EPL? City. If City lost yesterday, I think it would have been. I think you could have made the case. But the win was the draw was big for them. I think the extra point. I think they're going to win it probably by a point. We're talking a little bit. I don't love that game tomorrow. If I guess if I had to, yeah, that's right. Your gut is your second brain. Another slip from Stevie G. That's right. Yeah, look, if I had to bet this game, I would probably take Liverpool minus 1.25 on the Asian handicap at minus 120. Even that, it's, I need to see the lineup first. I know some of these guys aren't going to play tomorrow, and they're deep. Southampton isn't very good, and they're safe, so I don't know what they're going to be playing for. But I think Liverpool's just running out of steam. Maybe they pull out a 1-0 win. Maybe they do just enough and save it for Sunday, and then save it for the following Saturday. 2 trophies in the bag. They're going to try to go for this, but not at the expense of obviously of a Champions League. I can't imagine Salah's going to play. I can't imagine that. Van Dijk is going to play. They'll probably wrap him in bubble wrap. If they need him on Sunday, maybe they play. But, I would think they wrap him in bubble wrap to the final. We all know what happened to Mo Salah the last time there was a Champions League final with Liverpool and Arsenal, or Liverpool and Real Madrid. So for me, if you want to take a shot on Liverpool because they're the better team, I think so. Here would be my take on this game. Arsenal just kicks it out of play. I think the game's either 4-0 or it's really tight. I don't think there's any in between. Like, not that that's mind blowing or anything like that. Like, I don't think Liverpool wins scrape 2-0 or something. I just think they win very easily. Or maybe they struggle and get, and only get a point or something like that. So, to be honest, it doesn't really matter if City wins on Sunday. So, but you gotta put a little pressure on City. You got to get a point. So, I don't love the game though. I wish there was another game to talk about tomorrow in the Premier League. All right. Here, this game is very interesting. Let's see if this other game is going to penalties. Nottingham Forest plus 118, Sheffield United. So that game is in the 75th minute, and it's still 0-0. So next goal is big. If someone scores, they don't go to penalties. Nottingham Forest plus 118, Sheffield United plus 250, draw plus 215. 2:45 Eastern time. Nottingham Forest leads 2-1 in aggregate. Look at these odds to advance. Look, I know it's 2-1 and Nottingham Forest is at home and whatever. Nottingham Forest is minus 435 to advance. If you watch that game, there's not a lot between these two teams. Both regular season matches were 1-1. Oh, it's almost 2-0 there. Is that Callum Wilson? Yeah. Over 2.5 goals plus 112, unders minus 141. You see where it kind of lands. Over 2.25 Asian handicap is minus 118, unders minus 106. So they're maybe expecting a a low scoring game here. Remember 1-1. Forest over 1.5 goals is plus 130. Sheffield United over 1.5 goals is plus 225. I think the one thing that you look at the cards here, it's going to be a very contentious game. Obviously, it's a playoff semifinal. It's 2-1. Over 4.5 is minus 175. 5.5 is plus 130. I think there's going to be a lot of cards in this game. I don't usually bet the cards, but I think there's a chance to maybe do that. That was the first final. It was. I think. Look, Nottingham Forest has been the better team all year. Forest was there all season and dropped down. But you got to remember what I say sometimes about that. These teams that fall right at the end, remember they lost to Bournemouth in that match and got knocked into the playoff, and Bournemouth got automatically promoted. It's really tough. But, Forest came out and played really well in that first leg and got a win. For me, I think there's going to be some goals in this game. If you're going to take the over, you want to hope for an early goal. And then, Nottingham Forest, I think at plus 118, at minus 435 to advance. If you're going to bet on a team to advance, you're almost better off taking Sheffield United at plus 300 and taking a shot. Maybe they win 1-0 or 2-1 and it goes to penalties or something like that. Forest just needs a draw at home. A draw or a win, that's a little bit with the money line there. It scares me a little bit. The double chance is pretty high. Probably got to find another way to play this. I would lean towards Nottingham Forest. I think they're the better team. But once again, they don't need to win the game. So that's the tough thing. Sometimes with these games, I'm not sure if we talked about this or not, but maybe I'd like to talk about it a little bit right now. Sometimes goal now credited as a Ben White own goal. What? For the 15 minutes, they gave the goal to somebody else, man. It was so clear what happened, right? It's crazy. Sometimes with these games, it's almost it's almost worth seeing how the game develops over 15, 20 minutes, maybe live betting it, maybe you get better odds. The only problem is if one of the teams scores and you say you like Sheffield United, at plus 250 to win the game tomorrow. If they score first, obviously those odds are going to change. If you like Sheffield United and Nottingham Forest scores first, or the game is, whatever, it's just kind of playing out like real cagey in the early going, you might be worth it to maybe wait 20 minutes. It was almost a second own goal by the same player too. How about that? That would have been unbelievable. Sometimes I'll like a game maybe, or I'll say I like it, and then I don't bet it. And then you're sitting there watching it. Right now we're in the 67th minute here, 68th minute of this Newcastle game, and you're like, I think I can make some money on this game. And, you could do it. But once again, I always say, it's tough to live bet these games if you're not paying attention. If you're watching the tracker or watching the game, I think that's, you want to be seeing how the game is moving. Ramsdale just dropped it. That guy stinks, man. You want to see how the game is developing. Live betting is tough, man. You got to be able to see what's going on with this game. For me, once again, with live betting, I have Fubo TV. We don't have cable here. When I move Saturday, we might end up getting cable because it's a good 1 minute behind. So if you're betting, it's 1 minute is could be the difference between winning money and losing money. So I might have to fork out and get Fios. Oh, Kieran Trippier's back. All right. Thought he was out for the year. Anyway, for this game, I would say I would take a chance on Forest over 1.5 goals plus 130. I think they win the game. Newcastle's now minus 278, by the way. All right. Let's talk about this one. Otto Den Haag plus 115 versus FC Eindhoven plus 220. Draw plus 265. 2 o'clock Eastern tomorrow. Eerste Divisie promotion playoff first leg. Den Haag finished 4th on 67 points. FC Eindhoven finished 3rd with 71 points. Den Haag won 4-2 at home on September 5th. Look, they won 4-2 at home. That was a long time ago. You got to kind of weigh that. When you're doing these stats and when you're doing numbers and trends and stuff, you know, I think trends over the period of a long time can work. But, you know, when you're talking about in the course of a season and it's something like, think about Newcastle. Newcastle is going to be the first. Newcastle might be the first team ever to finish in the top half of the table in the Premier League without winning their first 14 games. Like they were 0-7-7. They had 7 points, I believe, from the first 14 matches. This guy, Eddie Howe, this guy, Eddie Howe, clearly is the coach of the year. It's not even close. Like, there's nobody else. I don't want to hear about Pep. I don't want to hear about Klopp. I don't want to hear about anybody else. This guy came in, and this Newcastle team is one of the top 3 teams in the league since he came in. He's clearly the coach of the year. They had 7 points. They had 0 wins from their first 14 matches. They're going to finish top of the table. It's never been done before. Never. You know, when I was writing for the Trenton Times, doing the Premier League for the Times and NJ.com, I remember, what year was it? When Crystal Palace, when the old Tony Pulis came into Crystal Palace and they were terrible, and he came in and they finished like 8th, and they kept him like not just kept him up, they finished like whatever. I gave him coach of the year. He did the best job. You don't have to be the coach of the year. Shouldn't be Klopp or Pep. Pep spent $2 billion. Like, of course they're good, man. They got 3 squads worth of players. Like, this guy's been unbelievable. He's just done an unbelievable job. Anyway, let me get back to this game. Otto Den Haag scored 76 goals and allowed 53 in 38 games. FC Eindhoven scored 69 and allowed 43. So Den Haag scores a lot of goals, 2 a game, but they also allow 1.5 a game. Eindhoven scores some goals, 70 goals, you know, just not that many less. They allowed 10 less, right? That's why they probably finished a little bit above them. Over 2.5 goals in this game. Now, look, it's a playoff first leg. It's going to be a little cagey. Again, you know, I think, you know, when you start to get to playoffs for promotion to go to like the top flight and, you know, millions and millions of dollars are at stake, I think, you know, there's almost another goal. Newcastle's all over Arsenal, by the way, on the counterattack. There's going to be another goal in this game. 100%. 100%. Newcastle loves winning these games, though, 1-0, don't they? Sometimes they're cagey, but over 2.5 goals. The Eerste Divisie, always high scoring, right? I like the over 2.5 goals. You got to lay a little bit of a premium, minus 136. To me, you know, over 1.5 goals for Otto Den Haag is minus 103. Over 1.5 goals for FC Eindhoven is plus 160. You know, I think you maybe take a chance with both and hope the game is 3-2. You know, or even 2-1 to Eindhoven. You know, you want to win both your bets, but if you bet $100 at plus 160 and $100 at minus 103, and it finishes 2-1 to Eindhoven, you lose your one bet for 100, and you win the other bet you make 160, so you're up $60, right? So, you know, and if both teams win, you win both. You know, if it's 0-0, you end up losing. But sometimes with soccer, you can do that. You can maybe, you know, there's when we get to the rugby, I'll show you that. Like there's these bands of there's bands of scoring, and you can kind of, if you think it, if a team is favored by like, the spread is like 12 or 13, I'll show you when we get to it, but you can have these bands of games or bands of scoring, and there's ways to make some money doing it by covering like three different outcomes. Sometimes you can do that with futures. I think, with the World Cup futures right now, I would take France. I guess, Brazil's got Vinicius and some of these other guys, so Brazil could be good. I would take maybe France, Brazil, and maybe pick one other team. You're getting them at plus 550 each, and if somebody comes in, like if you had $300 to spend, I would probably do 150 on France, 75 on Brazil. I don't know, maybe 50 on England, 25 on, us plus 1,000, something Germany, something like that. And then, you hope your big money play comes in, but, you can cover yourself and make some money there. So I think for that Eredivisie promotion playoff first leg, I'm going to go. I like Den Haag a little bit in that game. That 4-2 does help me, and I think both teams are in pretty good form. I do like the overs and the goals a little bit more. I think there's going to be goals in those games. All right. Let me see if we can get this pulled up. Look at these odds. All right. Take this down. To get enthralling. For the life of me, I don't understand why this doesn't share sometimes, but I'm going to fix it because I want to show you this stuff. I want to teach you how to bet. Some ways you could win some money. There we go. All right, here we are. I'm going to widen it. Okay, so, I liked betting this, and once again, you see the money lines here, the different games. Last week it kind of just showed the, I would right away look at that. Parramatta, good team. Penrith is a good team. That's minus 139. Cronulla is a good team. So you're at plus 145. All right, so there's your, could be your parlay. You can add maybe Melbourne in there against North Queensland, who stinks, plus 258. Canterbury. Who's Canterbury playing? The Bulldogs. West. It's last versus second to last. Stay away from that game. Right now, the Panthers. Penrith is in first. So there's Penrith right here, minus 360. Playing Sydney Roosters. That's 1 versus 4. And you see those odds. That's how good Penrith is. I wanted to show you something here. Let's go to Sea Eagles, Parramatta Eels. I want to see a game where a team is playing a bad team. A good team is playing a bad team. Let's go Parramatta. Okay. Margin betting. Now you can do this in some other sports, but I think it's pretty good here. I think it's obvious. Rugby's like NFL. So Parramatta, look, their line the line on this game is 8.5, right? So it's supposed to be somewhere in here, right? If they cover, this is out, right? 8.5. So, if you're like, man, Parramatta, they just won last week, 22-20 over the Panthers. So they played a good game. They won. And, Manly won 36-22 over West. But, I think, Manly's going on the road or whatever. You can play this here plus 480. Plus 260. If you think it's going to be a blowout, you could take this band here too, plus 430. But sometimes what I'll do is I'll take these two bands. I just think if it's going to be like an easy win or something like that, like by 14 points, right? 16 points, 18 points. You could take these two bands. If you get, if you bet 100 on that, your potential payout is 940. Obviously, you can't win both. But if it hits 13 to 18, you get 480 back. So you get 104, 580 return, and you lose the 100. If this one comes in, you get 360 back, and you lose the 100. So you get 260. So, so you're clearing 160. So, I think you could do that in some of these games. I like it for the NFL too. When we get to NFL season, we have the How to Bet show. About the NFL and the college football. I think there's ways to do this in these games where you can instead of maybe taking the spread. Look, if I'm going to take the spread here at minus 8.5, minus 105. Look, I probably wouldn't do that. I'll probably slide it down because remember. I take it 7.5. Remember, if they miss the extra point, it's only 4, right? So it's the kick is 2. So if you score on the outside and you got to take it from the outside, that kick, I don't even know what it's called to be honest. I call it the extra point. It's like whatever. It's 2-point kick. Well, I'll take it here at 7.5. Just like in the NFL now, you used to be able to bet minus 6.5 when the extra points were automatic. Now they're not. And now people go for 2 and you get beat on that. I got beat on that Tampa Bay Philly game because Tampa Bay was up 28-7 and the Eagles started they stopped throwing flags, the refs, and they started, going for 2 and they ended up losing the game 28-22. I lost on the hook. So I try to eliminate that now with those games, the NFL games. Look at that. Oh man, he almost scored from like 50 yards out. The keeper was off his line. That would have been unbelievable. I would have been out of my seat. But there is some definite ways to, man, that was so close to like the goal of the season. That was unbelievable. He took it down and just fired it. He sliced across it. Oh my. It's so close. Oh, man. If it doesn't slice at the last minute. I like, when you look at the table here, Broncos against Knights. Here's a game you could target. Broncos are 7th in the table, 6-0-4, 6 wins, 4 losses, and the goal point differential of 28. Knights are 3-7 and minus 124. So right away, I'm targeting this game, Brisbane. I'll probably even just, instead of doing the money line on this, because they give up so many points, I'll probably slide like that, 3.5. You get it at minus 180 instead of minus 265. If they're going to win, they're going to cover 3.5 points, right? So then you got that, and then maybe you throw it on Panthers, Penrith, money line. Sydney's not bad. Sydney Roosters are 53, goal difference 6-4. Panthers are 9-1 with a plus 174. So once again, what will I do? Maybe I'll 3.5 is still 250. I'll take it. Look at that. It's plus 118 parlay. That's 2 games plus 118. And then you could find a money line play. South Sydney. They aren't playing well. Maybe stay away from that game. Cronulla Sharks are in 5th. Cronulla Sharks are in 5th, 6-0-4, 51-point difference, right? And the Gold Coast Titans are 3-7 with a minus 80. Oh, there's the goal. Second goal. There it is. Bruno Guimaraes. And Tottenham is in the driver's seat. I loved Newcastle today, man. Arsenal pulled a Tottenham. Who would have thunk it? So Cronulla, you see minus 7.5, a little bit high for me. Minus 3.5. Wow, look at that. Minus 165. Now look at this parlay. 2.5 to 1. 2.5 to 1. That's right now. These odds are going to change a little bit during the week. So, if you like this game, please get on it now. 2.5, or you like this parlay here, and you see it's these heavy favorites, and we bet it down to minus 3.5. If you're not comfortable with that, just take the money line. So this is, we'll go back and say, what is it on the money line? Cronulla, Brisbane, Storm against Cowboys. So that's 2 versus 3. I think the other game was Panthers, right? Yes. So it's still plus 151. So you're at 1.5. You're plus 151. You don't even have to worry about it. Just have to worry about the team winning. You could do both. Now, the other way, if you want to take a real shot here, just say, I'll take him at 7.5 because that's still, remember, that's under that line, 8. Take him at 7.5. This is going to pay a little bit. And take him at 7.5. Look at that, plus 467. And you're still under that line where it's like 2. They're called tries, right? So they're still under that line where it's the 2 tries. The Brisbane one is minus 7.5, and Cronulla one is minus 7.5 as it was. So you kind of left it there. I bet Penrith down to minus 7.5 a little bit because it's minus 159, right? So I think that's a decent way to maybe make some money. So let me stop. Any leans in? Hi Jennifer, how are you? Any leans in MLB today? Look at it here. Oof. I'm a Tampa fan. I grew up a Montreal Expos fan, so hopefully Tampa goes to Montreal. I was really sick. I was in Philly Children's Hospital when I was 7 years old. I'm going to date myself here. You guys can figure out how old I am, and ladies can figure out how old I am here. I was in Philly Children's Hospital when the Dodgers played the Expos in the National League Championship Series. And the next year, we went to Cooperstown. I was real sick. I'm allergic to penicillin, and my doctors gave me amoxicillin. I'm in a medical journal. I have purple spots all over, man. It's crazy. We went to Cooperstown the next year, and I got a bunch of Expos stuff. So I grew up an Expos fan, a Broncos fan, Supersonics, like all weird teams. I'm a North Carolina fan. Florida State football fan. They stink though now too. So it is what it is. Maybe a Rays Yankees part. Oh, still left those in there. Rays Yankees parlays pays a little bit. I'm very big on playing favorites. I think there's different ways to play them. I think I have a big knot on my head right there, doesn't it? I think there's different ways you could play them. Well, to me, this is my soccer mentality coming through to other sports. And baseball, obviously, I played baseball. I played baseball in college. I coached at a different level. Baseball is different than soccer because on any night a pitcher can beat thing, and there's all this everything going on about pitching. Whatever. It's all about pitching. But I think. If a team if the Yankees are, I don't even know what their record is now. I know they're just lighting it up. See if we pull these standings up. Yankees are 25-9 right now. They're 7-3 in their last 10. Their run differential is plus 69. They're playing an Orioles team who's 14-21, 5-5 in their last 3, but lost 3 in a row, and they've dominated. Right? I just I don't know why. I will just take them on the money line and then take a shot. Tampa Bay, same way, 21-14. Houston is red hot right now. Who's Houston playing tonight? Houston's playing the Red Sox, in Boston. Houston's a dog. I don't know. Red Sox 3-7 in the last 10. Numbers. But those odds are strange to me. To me, I'm looking at that. I'm like, wait, why aren't the Astros a little bit more of a favorite here? I know it's pitching matchups and stuff like that. But, for me, I would take a shot on, Houston maybe at plus 104. Listed pitcher, Jake Odorizzi against Garrett Whitlock. Houston's red hot. The Mets are 5-5. I look for teams. Baseball is streaky, man. When these teams get streaky, like Houston is red hot right now. The Yankees were playing all those bums for a while, and they're still playing them, and they were winning everything. So, for soccer, when I'm looking at these games, I'm trying to find same thing with rugby. Rugby, you heard me just say it's a third place team or fourth place team playing a team in 14th with a terrible goal difference or a point difference or run difference, whatever you want to call it, goal difference, whatever you want to call it, against a team with a good goal difference. This team scores a lot of goals and doesn't allow a lot of goals. This team gives up a lot of goals and doesn't score a lot of goals. Well, in a vacuum, 9 times out of 10, this team is going to win. If you do that enough over the course of a season, with these parlays with good teams, you're probably going to be up. Especially with that the NRL parlay. I just did. The money line parlay with those 3 good teams probably hits 3 times out of 5, right? Maybe 7 out of 10. Maybe the point spread parlay, the one that's 3.5, hits 5 out of 10, but it's plus 250. So if it hits 5 out of 10, you're up money, right? You don't have to win. You only have to win 3 times or 4 times out of 10. The other one, which is plus 450, maybe it wins 3 out of 10, 4 out of 10. I don't know. But that's where you want. One of my buddies that does this, the guy that got into my, I won the handicapping last year for the Euros. I was the top handicapper. Me and another person tied in the whole world. That whole contest, we tied, and then the tiebreaker was like the final score or something like that. So I ended up second. But I'm claiming the victory because I finished tied in the whole tournament. I don't. I don't lose coin flips or whatever to win. I finish first over a month-long tournament. So, you know, when you over the course of that thing, I mean, he does all underdogs. So he's only got to hit. He does these crazy underdog plays where it's like, you know, he takes a team that's favored by, or takes an underdog, you know, maybe they're like plus 300 and he bets a -1. You know, money line -1, -2. Targets games, right? So if that team wins 3-0, he's getting minus on the -1, you're getting 600, right? -2, you're probably getting plus 1,000. If those things come out, you're winning a ton of money. Arsenal bottled it. Their fans are big up and giving us all kinds of talk about how United stinks. Well, guess what? We're in the same competition next year, aren't we? The Europa League. Well, maybe we might be in the Conference League if West Ham wins and thing, but who cares? Conference League, Europa League, same difference. I knew there would be a goal there, though. So Chelsea clinches top 4 now. Tottenham is now the favorite to clinch top 4. And now Newcastle can finish in the top half with a win on the final day and some other results going their way with a -19 goal difference. That is absolutely amazing. Wow. It's crazy. So just kind of into the mind, bet with the genius. Why do they call me that? I overthink stuff. I think stuff a lot about different things. Remember, Caesars has a $1,100 first bet insurance, first time wager up to $1,100. Get it back. If you lose, you can get it back in the form of a free bet. ATS wins CZR. Links are in the show box below. Max Wagers Network, 6 hours of great info. Sure to follow. Oh, ring the bell, subscribe, like us, all that stuff. Be sure to follow Max Wagers Network all day. Midday Money, Sean Higgs, Ali Burns, Just Parlays with Chris King. Back to the window, Scott and Scott. It's me. And then at 5, game time decisions. Like, subscribe, and ring that bell. All right, we're going to be back tomorrow with a bunch of stuff to talk about. Most likely, most importantly at the top, we're going to talk about the Europa League final. Not a lot of games on Wednesday during the day, a lot of MLS games at night. Maybe we're going to have special guests. We're going to start having some guests on, some guest hosts. Not really guests. We're going to have some hosts on. I'm going to have some different people host, so you don't have to hear me talk the whole time. Maybe you can hear some other people talk about soccer. So, all right. I will see you tomorrow.